How you been, bro?
I've been good, staying busy as much as I can without playing concerts, but
Yeah.
I'm not one to sit around and whine. So I'll drink
Yeah.
wine, but I won't whine.
Well, that's cool, man. It's been a long time since I've seen you, dude. The last time I seen you, I think was when we played that show.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, that was a while
Wasn't
back.
that a Gig Boss show?
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a fun show. I mean, you know, some shows have like a lot of people and a lot of energy, but some shows are just good anyways, regardless.
Yeah, I remember having a blast. It was who was the other band that played with us also? The rap rock guys that we love, the Chimps.
The Chimps.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, the Chimps.
I know those guys.
Too.
Yeah, the Chimps are really good actually. I dig those guys. They work hard. But speaking of hard working, you are one of the hardest working dudes I know, man. You're doing all kinds. I mean, I remember back in the day, I want to say it was 2000. I heard Union Underground for the first time. And I think it was the title track, right? What was the name of the title track?
We had a single called Turn Me On, Mr. Dead Man that sounded like 5,000.
That was it. That was one.
Or as I call it, Power Man 1000.
No, it was a good song. And what was the other one? It was the title.
We had a wrestling hit. We had a hit with the wrestling, the WWE.
Oh.
Remember that one for the wrestling show? It was called Across the Nation.
That was for Raw, wasn't it?
South Texas Death Ride.
Yeah, that's it. South Texas Death Ride. Yeah, I remember. I used to bump that shit. Seriously.
Hell yeah.
So how'd that happen?
The whole Union Underground thing?
Yeah.
We were from San Antonio, Texas, famous for the Alamo, and there was a good heavy metal scene there, and it was the end of the '90s. I'd been playing covers, and I always had original bands that would win the battle of the bands. You know, that same story we all have.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided it's time to get real, and we built our own studio and started recording ourselves all the time. And we built a following in San Antonio. There was no doubt that we were I hate using the word biggest, but we were the most popular band in San Antonio at the end of the '90s. We would sell out shows. And it ended up bringing out record companies. That was back when there was 7 or more major labels. And we'd come to LA and showcase, and all the labels always said, great band, but we're just not ready to sign it. And by the time 6 labels tell you that, it is the same as 100 women telling you, I will not go out with you. It's the same.
That's true.
So one fateful night in San Antonio, we had one more showcase. And I said, there's no way they're going to sign us. It's going to be the same shit. Good songs, good band. We're not ready. I remember I was done with it. I said, I don't give a fuck. We're going to get on an indie label. Of course, this dude with a beard comes out that had worked for Sony Columbia. He had brought Aerosmith's career back. His name's John Kolodner. And I was like, oh, that guy's for real. He's going to be another guy that's going to tell us no. They told us yes.
Well, the names are getting bigger. Yes. The no names are getting bigger, right?
Except this guy's got a cool beard and he looks.
This guy had a cool beard. Yeah, and it happened. We got a real attorney. There were checks that had 6 zeros on them and
holy shit
like that. And I was like, holy shit, it's real. And it happened. And I was as surprised as anybody else, because if 100 girls won't go out with you, you're surprised when that one girl finally says, yeah, I'll go out with you. It's surprising.
I guess it's happened to all of us at one point.
Yeah.
Right? Every dog gets his day. Well, no, you guys definitely aren't dogs. You guys deserve every minute of that. And you should have gotten it before then. I think that's the problem with the music industry. The biggest problem is everything's late. Everything happens a little too late. You know what I mean? You're ready like way back when, and they're just like, well, we don't know. You know what I mean?
My buddy tells me, my buddy in one of the big bands always says, man, there's a catch-up time. For every band, there's a catch-up time. It doesn't matter if it's Five Finger Death Punch, Metallica, my band, or your band. There is always a lag and a catch-up. By the time a band has written their Enter Sandman, people are just checking out their their No Life Till Leather demo.
Yeah,
You know?
That's true.
Just how it is.
Yeah,
That is so true.
it's funny because they always talk about oh man, where'd these guys come from? And it was like, oh, they're an overnight success. Meanwhile, the artist is over there going, fucking really? Do you have any idea where this overnight came from? This is the longest night I've ever fucking seen. If this is overnight success,
Exactly.
you know,
somebody's listening to Slipknot's "Wait and Bleed" right now, going, "This song's awesome."
I
You mean
discovered
they have another
them.
song besides Snuff.
Yeah.
Where have you guys been all my life? We get that a lot, you know. I'm sure you guys get that all the time. And it's just like, damn, what does it take? You know what I mean? For people to remember my name. But I definitely remember the name of Union Underground. And I remember that I love those songs. But you guys didn't, I don't remember like you guys continuing for a long time. Did you guys break up?
Last. It had a number of problems, but in a nutshell, I always say we had all the cliched pitfalls and problems that you used to see on Behind the Music from these bands. A lot of things happened. After the Napster thing fucked over all the labels, I guess I'll say it like that, when Napster happened, I remember Sony ended up getting rid of 75 artists just on Columbia alone.
Wait, why?
And I mean, Ozzy was out of his contract. They didn't get rid of Ozzy, but his contract had elapsed and he went somewhere else because these labels weren't making the millions that they had before. So they were ready. If your band if you were a new band, you were lucky to even make a second record. But more importantly than that, our band had a bunch of those cliched interpersonal problems, from drugs to egos. Like I said, if you ever want to see the true side of one of your family members or friends, just hand them a check that has more than that has 6 zeros on it. Actually, a lot of our friends would do it with 2 zeros on it.
That's true.
You will see how people are. It's like Game of Thrones. It's like Vikings. You hand somebody the keys to a kingdom and they will be faced with who they are, and you will see things happen. And that happened within our band.
Oh, wow. Shit.
That sucks. Well, I can't say I haven't been there though. I mean, I've never been where you guys were at. We never got to, my band just recently got signed, but we didn't get to like tour, you know, because right when we got signed, COVID hit. So that was kind of depressing and a bummer, but you've been touring this whole time and you playing with Lita Ford and, you know, Heaven Below. And I remember playing with you guys. You guys are great. It'd be nice to share the road with them, you know, at some point, you know, and go tour up with them. And I remember we were backstage and you were telling me some stories. And I remember, man, this guy has done a lot of stuff. This is a good dude to know, a good dude to have as a friend to talk to, you know what I mean? Because you know the ins and outs of the business, I'm sure, left and right.
I don't know. It's changed a lot. I feel like I did learn a shitload during that Union Underground time. But things have shifted. So now I got that old school knowledge, but then I'm like, oh, holy shit. Well, now it's like this whole digital platform. You get into how a band breaks out of YouTube. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, everything's gone digital. Like me and Ralph were talking about it. I said it's weird because nowadays, you know, where you hear the stories of the old school artists, you know, selling their independently made record out of their trunk after a show, like, hey, here's our new album, and trying to build fan base. You still have to do that, but now they kind of expect you to do it on a worldwide level because of the internet. So it's like,
yes, and it's not a clear. It's you think, well, that's easy. It's an even playing field, but it's not an even playing field, because back when you had a major label, they had a department of people to get you on the radio. And they had a way to do it, whether it be payola or who they knew. You know, you can't just pay to get on everybody's Spotify playlist now. And that's one thing I've been looking into. Oh, you got to have a curator that has a huge following, and you need to get your single on there. And I'm learning right now. In the past few days, I've been learning exactly like, well, how does that happen?
Right. It's a rough go. Me and Ralph have been doing the same thing. It's such where you could used to be able to just kind of pick away at learning. There's so much that happens at the same time that you have to just kind of dive into the water, you know, and take a big gulp and then step out, figure it out, and then do it again. You know, you don't have
exactly. Yeah, and it is, you always hear artists saying this, and I've been on both sides. It is nice doing things on your own and deciding when it's going to come out and how it's going to be. Because when you, back in the day when you were on a label, there was a team of people that were behind you and it was awesome, but you had to play by their rules for sure. Right. You couldn't be like, I want to do this song and then the video can have that was not easy just to do it your own way back then.
So you were more like the minute you were signed, you were just kind of part of the machine. Like, here's our plan for you, go.
To a degree. The guy with the beard was awesome to have, John Kolodner. He was into the band and he did get the songs and he did work with us. But as far as how they spent the money to get out there and get you to Ozfest and get you to MTV, MTV2 late night, that was man, they did it their way on that for sure. Yeah, how they get you into Best Buy and then your CD is on sale for $5.99 if you sign this paper that says you're going to get smaller royalties than before, because now we're only selling the CD for $5.99. A lot of the bands on the label said, nope, we're not signing shit. Our CD is $12.99 no matter what. Those bands failed. Union Underground and the other bands that signed the $5.99 thing, our album got further because fans were taking a chance on a $5.99 CD instead of a new band at $12.99.
Right.
Makes sense.
So, just obvious marketing crap like that. I learned a lot of that shit. Yeah.
But you know what? You mentioned payola, and I think that even though things have changed and it seems drastically, they're in a weird way, they kind of remain the same, because think about how do you get your songs on Spotify playlist and get them popular? Most of the time you end up having to spend money to get that.
And I think it's a matter of how they have you do it. Back in the radio payola days, it would literally be an envelope with money, or the program director had a brand new car that he probably couldn't afford. That actually happened.
He had a Coke mustache,
Seriously, that was seriously happening. And I asked myself now, without sounding too jaded, I'm like, okay, you're right. They probably do something, but it's probably like, hey, you need to pay for 6 weeks of advertising for our show, or I'm sure there's something
like we'll boost your post for a year or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
And then there's all these other people with their hands out saying, if you give us this much money, we're going to get you on all the playlists. I've been seeing that lately, and I'm like, I'm not a trusting person.
Yeah, well, we've talked to a couple, and we've actually worked with one or two that have been on the level, but it's needle in a haystack type shit, dude. I found that if they come and go, we'll guarantee you this many views or this many likes, the only thing you got to listen for is if they guarantee the channels, because they can't guarantee you. If they guarantee you the numbers, they have to be botting, and that's gonna get you fucked.
Exactly. And I tell the guys in Heaven Below, and I tell Nikki Stringfield, I tell these people, I go, the more we do on our own, if we go to these platforms and we already have a lot of streams or have a ton of social media following, that makes their job, that makes the people helping you, their job is easy. It's not from the ground up. Look at this band. I mean, what did one of my buddies calls us? A turnkey band. I've heard that term lately. You're a turnkey band. I'm like, what does that mean?
Right.
He goes, that means everything's already done. It just has to be advertised now. So I guess that's what we're all looking to be, is a turnkey band.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not necessarily a bad place to be. You've done all the right shit. Just get the numbers.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you're a Billie Eilish or something and you have these people involved with you, man, as soon as the big numbers start coming in, those people have already signed you, nailed you down to own songs, to own rights, to own merch, and you don't want all that.
Yeah. 360 deals. Are you familiar with them?
Too much, yeah. And I don't know. You get into that whole, it's better to have a small piece of a huge pie than a huge piece of a nothing pie. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, it can get out of control.
Shit.
No shit. Are you still? Would you consider yourself still leaning towards the mentality of a label is still a very good thing for a band, or are you leaning towards maybe independent is the way to go?
I'd rather be independent for the obvious reason that you don't have to split anything and you have control over your stuff. But the main reason being, the longer you can remain independent and growing and getting bigger, the more a label will have to do what you want, if that's going to be the way you go. If you go to a label and you say, look, I have millions of streams, I'm making thousands of dollars per month on merch, they are going to ask you, what do you want us to do? Instead of, here's what we want you to do.
Right.
I think that's still the same way. You know, I think that, yeah, compared to the old days. Yeah.
Probably. So how are you feeling with all this not being able to tour stuff? I mean, are you basically, do you think that this is going to like change anytime soon, or you think this is going to be a prolonged thing?
Man, it's tough. I just like all y'all, everybody, I go back and forth. I don't know. Like the Lita Ford gig, we had a huge tour with Alice Cooper set up that got postponed. I don't know when that's supposed to happen again. Live Nation kind of swung the gavel and said, y'all just wait. But, you know, man, like I said, I'm not ready to give up. I'm not ready to sleep on the couch yet. So we just get as much work as we can in here. And we've even been able to finish albums like the Heaven Below cover album that we released. And I don't know if I could have finished that if I was out on the road with Lita Ford.
That's true. It must get pretty busy because you're with Lita Ford on the road, and then you've got Heaven Below, and aren't you working on something else as well?
Those are my two main things. I do commercial stuff for people. They'll be like, we need a vocal for this song that's going to go in a commercial, or people will say, I need some guitar tracks. And I do all that stuff in here, and I love doing it, man. It's fun, and it's helped me learn other styles. Just like back when I used to do covers all the time, you start learning on guitar, vocals, different stuff than you would have, you know?
Yeah, man, that sounds like fun too. And how'd you get into that? How'd you start getting into doing it yourself behind the scenes? And
man, like I said, back in the 90s with Union Underground, we built our own studio with those ALHSY ADATs, if you remember those things.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Hell yeah. That's awesome.
We did that. That Union Underground album has some ALHSY ADAT tracks on it. It has a newer version of Pro Tool. It had all the formats. And
nice.
Man, I recorded with some you know, professional people early on when I was a kid, and some of the experience was good, but then some of the experience kind of sucked. I was like, man, this dude's famous. He's supposed to make us sound great, and we sounded like shit. We just said, let's just keep doing it ourselves and until it sounds good. And that's what I do in here. You know, if something's not working, I just keep trying or come back at it. So nobody, you know, no one's going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself first. We all know that.
Damn Skippy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So how'd you get into it with Lita Ford? How'd you meet her? How'd you start playing guitar for her?
After the Union Underground thing had ended, I made all the friends I could with Union Underground. You know how it is in our business. All of us that are kind of like-minded come together. And a buddy of mine ended up being the president of BC Rich Guitars.
Oh,
and
wow.
He'd worked his way all the way up over the years. And he calls me up one day, he says, Lita Ford's looking for a guitar player. And I was like, isn't she like retired or something? He's like, no, she's back. And he goes, man, you would make a great guitar player for her. He goes, you could even maybe sing the Ozzy thing on her song, Close My Eyes Forever. And we both laughed about it. Fast forward a few months later, I'm singing the fucking Ozzy thing on her fucking song.
Damn, dude.
That's
so
pretty awesome.
He set that up for me, and I just hit it off with her and the band, really. She had Bobby Rock on drums from Vinnie Vincent Invasion and Nelson. Marty O'Brien's on bass. It was a no-brainer. Not just her, but I was like, this is the best rhythm section ever right here. So we just clicked. We clicked right away.
So it's been a good experience all around, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. When you hang out with her and you play shows with her, you're like, well, this is why she's lasted so long. You know, she's true professional. Doesn't matter if she feels sick one night, she gets out there and kicks ass anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Hey, Cody,
Yes,
did
sir.
you want to do the beginning, the honors? We just started talking, but we didn't actually like introduce you. So
Oh yeah, I'll throw it in here. We can do it right here. Blap.
A lot's happened since yesterday.
Welcome to A Lot's Happened Since Yesterday, guys. On this episode, we have Mr. Patrick Kennison. What's going on, brother?
Hey, brother. We're up early, but it's still rock and roll time for us.
Hell yeah, dude.
Patrick is the lead singer for the band Heaven Below. He also plays guitar for Lita Ford. He's a singer, songwriter, and a music producer. So we're glad to have him on today. He was also in a band called Union Underground that you guys came out like in the early 2000s, right?
Early 2000s. I think they called it new metal after our album came out.
New metal. I remember you
With
guys
the
came
U,
out right-
not even an EW, the U.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys came out right around the same time as Disturbed, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. And even to make things more ironic, our bass player for Union Underground ended up being the bass player in Disturbed. So
That's
yeah,
right.
we toured with them early on. We had an unknown band that used to get booed that would open for us called Linkin Park.
Holy
That's-
shit.
Oh,
That was
wow.
that's always an amazing story. I like to look back on that and laugh.
Wow. Why did they get booed? Do you know?
I'll be honest with you, man. They came out, they looked like fraternity guys that put together a talent show band. That's what they look like.
Oh, wow.
And the guitar player had these goofy headphones that I think he still wears today. And I wasn't sure what to think of them, but Chester, the singer, comes up on our bus and gives us a CD of their forthcoming album. They worked with the same producer that did our Union Underground album in the same studio. And we heard One Step Closer, their first single. Chester had told us that it was influenced by South Texas Death Ride from Union Underground.
Oh, really? Wow.
And I was like, I heard it right away, had similar loops, similar vibe. And I remember hearing Crawling and these songs on there. And all of us in Union Underground go, this will be huge. It's like if you took Limp Bizkit and the Backstreet Boys and somehow made a band. I go, watch, this is going to be huge. I even called them Backstreet Biscuit or something.
Backstreet Biscuit.
Man, I was right. They opened for us for a few weeks. They hated our singer because our singer, that's a whole nother thing. And I knew it was going to be huge. I knew it was, and it was.
It's funny how some bands do something and you're not really quite sure what it is that they're doing that just works so well, but it just does. You know what I mean? And you're just like, wow, I wonder how they, where they envisioned that to come in and work with this. You know what I mean? Because they have like almost like two opposite sounds. One guy's like rapping and the other dude's like full bore singing with the whole, raspy voice and everything. And I was just like, wow, but they pulled it off, man. And
I didn't know it was going to be that huge. I knew it would be popular. I knew people would gravitate towards it. I remember hearing Chester scream and thinking, man, he sounds like Filter. He sounds like the dude from Filter. And I really like that. Even me, I was like, who cares that some dude's rapping and that they look like a talent show? That sounds cool.
That's a great story, dude. So have you guys ever toured with Disturbed? Has Heaven Below ever gone out with them?
No, but we're tight with them. We're really close with them still. And every time we hang out with them, I'm like, yeah, you're right. And as soon as you guys have us open for you, it's going to be a really even funner than it is right now.
Well, you would imagine your old bass player's in the band. He could probably pull some strings, right? Does it work like that or no?
You can't rely on that stuff. I feel like it's better to have a good relationship with the guys already, which I definitely did, and still do. I remember, Dan and Dave are amazing people. They get up there and kick your ass, but when we're backstage, we're talking like we are right now. So I think that's the thing. Yeah. If you haven't talked to one of your friends for a while and you get back with them and it kicks off right where it was, you're like, this is a good person. Yeah.
Totally natural. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's how you are, dude. I remember the first time I met you. That was the first time I met you when we played that show. And I was just like, I remember. And then you started telling me about the Union Underground. I'm like, wait a minute, you were in that band? See, I had no idea. But then when I found out, I was like, holy shit, dude, this guy. I used to rock out to this dude playing, man. It's just kind of a weird thing when now all of a sudden, we're sharing the stage and I'm like, this is pretty cool. I must be doing something right because I get to play with this dude in his band. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's just kind of how I look at it. But I mean, there's some truth to that. If you're doing a good job, then you're going to start to be able to play with some bands that are actually respected, you know?
Absolutely, man. Like we all of us like-minded people just end up sharing stages together.
Yeah. I think that's where the whole cream rises to the top thing comes from. Because at some point, the people who really work their asses off just put their head down and charge. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're here? What's up, dude? I'm, you know, and then everything just kind of starts building, you know?
Exactly.
So has Heaven Below been on labels? Because I could have sworn you guys were working with a label or two.
We did a label for one album called Good Morning Apocalypse, and that's an album, a concept album we made that has people like Lita Ford sings on a track, our buddy Jason McMaster from Dangerous Toys and Watchtower is on a track. We got Cobra Page from Cobra and the Lotus. We even have Udo from Accept is on a track.
Oh, damn.
And we were able to put that, a label approached us and wanted to release it. But we only did that one with them, licensed that one record. And not to sound like I don't want anybody to touch what we're doing, but that was just for that record. That was it. We didn't say, okay, here's all our records and you're going to do that. They helped us a lot. It got us a lot of attention in Europe. The album was reviewed and people love it in Europe. And after that, we were like, look, we're just going to release this on our own and still do it. Not because we didn't get a 6-figure check, but because that was a one-off licensing thing.
Right.
Gotcha. So have you had success in Europe on a touring level?
Not with Heaven Below. Heaven Below has not been to Europe yet. Lita, of course, we play huge festivals with Lita and do killer stuff over there.
You guys should go out there, man. I think
we're dying to
do well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, obviously right now everybody's got to wait to see what happens.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think you guys would do great out there, man.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this is going to sound like a dumb question, but honestly, what is it like? What is the music vibe like over there? I mean, I've only played or done anything in entertainment here, but is it a totally different world over there?
Not totally different, but it is different. People tend to gravitate towards things that Americans won't. I'll give you a good example. My first time playing there was Ozfest 2001, and I remember the first show. Of course, it was Black Sabbath headlining. I remember us and Disturbed and Mudvayne. And I noticed on the main stage, there was a band called Raging Speedhorn. And I saw their name after Slipknot and after Marilyn Manson. I said, who the fuck is a Raging Speedhorn? And I waited around and I asked the guys in the other bands. They said, oh, that's like their heavy metal Leonard Skinner over here, or their Saxon type band. And this band comes out and plays after those huge, before Sabbath, but after these huge bands. And it had a funny sound. It wasn't bad. It was slightly Viking Hobbit metal, as I like to say, or medieval metal. But it got me going, and people went crazy. I was like, okay, they're a little bit different from us over here. You know, they're a little ready to drink ale out of a curved horn, more so than us Americans are. They don't have Kardashians over there. They have people doing medieval shit, I guess. But it actually works out good for metal bands, because I've noticed they will get into metal bands, whether it's, you know, tribute band. The Iron Maidens do well over there,
right?
Stuff like that. And maybe that's why Good Morning Apocalypse got good reviews for us. It has a slight, you know, conceptual, old school medieval vibe or whatever.
Yeah.
And
even in the art, the art's that way.
Yeah, so they're a lot less Miley Cyrus over there, if you know what I mean. They don't give a fuck about that bullshit. They want to see Raging Speedhorn.
Raging Speedhorn is such a great name too. Like, you said that, I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I'm bringing them. They're going in the links, dude. That's such a great name.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if you're in metal, you should get into Europe.
I will say this. This is one of my most famous stories. Union Underground, on that Ozfest, that first day, we were going on at like 10:30 a.m. I told our band, I said, nobody's gonna be here for fucking us at 10:30 a.m. There's some band called Raging Speedhorns playing later. They're not gonna. They don't give a fuck about Turn Me On, Mr. Deadman. I remember our bus going over this hill before it was time to play, and I saw a huge sea of people in front of a stage, and I was like, wow, Raging Speedhorn must be getting ready to go on. And our tour manager goes, no, that's the stage you guys are playing. And my heart almost stopped. And we got up there, and it was a crazy sea of people. And in the front was a bunch of kids with the Union Underground shirt on.
Fuck yeah.
And I knew we were already going on over there. And man, you want to talk about a boost after like I said earlier, 100 girls telling you no.
Yeah.
That was a boost.
Yeah.
I put my in-ears in, and people are screaming as the intro's running. Who the fuck are these people, and why do they care about Union Underground? We have video of it, man. It was a killer set. It was badass. It felt like it went by in about 3 seconds after we started playing.
Adrenaline rush, huh? Wow.
Yeah. So that's my experience of Europe, and I'm dying to go back there. You know, we Union Underground did a few shows over there with Static X and stuff like that. Some of the food's weird. They don't put ice in their drink, which is fucking weird to me.
Oh shit. Well, that's cool that you've been able to experience that, even though it wasn't with your current band right now, but still you got to experience that. So
we're gonna do it sooner or later. I'm gonna get over there with my curved horn with the ale in it. I'm gonna wear a Raging Speedhorn shirt.
Yeah, you gotta contact those
guys. You
guys.
totally should,
dude. I hear it now. It's Ravenscroft, Union Underground, and Raging Speedhorn.
There you go.
The way it's looking, 2022 UK. We'll just give it some time.
It's gonna be Heaven Below now. Union.
Oh, I'm sorry, Heaven Below. We've been talking about Union Underground. I'm sorry, Heaven Below.
Hell yeah,
man. He sold you out, bro.
I sold you out.
No, good.
No, we were talking about Union Underground so much. I'm sorry, my bad.
Freaking idiot.
So what's your plans for the next few months? I mean, what you got anything that you're doing outside of getting ready to play shows or whatever?
Heaven Below's already been working on some new original songs. We released this cover album. Where is it? Oh, I thought I had one over here. Oh, I gotta pimp it. Heaven Below released this album. It's called Rest in Pieces, a tribute to the departed. It's all cover songs from people who have died, and it's our tribute. So it has Queen on there. It has AC/DC. It has Pantera. It has Alice in Chains. It's our Dead People album.
I love the art in the back too. That's straight up Queen too. I love that.
Thanks. Yeah. Oh yeah. The packaging on the inside, we reimagined all the covers of the bands that we cover.
That's
on here.
Great.
And it's gotten a ton of attention. It's gotten insane streams to allow plaques and that kind of crap. So we're gonna do originals again just for the next album. But our guitar player is Nikki Stringfield from the Iron Maidens. Her and I have been doing acoustic stuff in this room and doing like Maiden covers, things that shouldn't be played acoustic, and they've been getting a ton of attention. So we're gonna do more of this acoustic stuff till we can get back on a stage at least.
Hell yeah.
And I guess just working that social media, is figuring out how to get on those Spotify playlists.
Yeah, that's the ticket right there, bro. Pretty soon you're gonna have too many awards that you won't even be able to fit them all on the wall. But
I got room on the patio.
He's ready, man. He knows. He's like, yep, I'm gonna get those Spotify's.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. What the hell happened to the industry and to us as artists, man? We went from being like, oh wait, I'm gonna try and sell out this show to, hey man, have you figured out the YouTube algorithm yet, man? I've been working that for years now. Like fucking algorithms.
Yeah.
Man, I know. Jeez, we could put together a fake band that doesn't even have real members and become huge on the internet. And they're like, okay, come play a show. All right, let's hire a band.
Yeah. Hey, dude, we're in the EDM where we don't even need to hire a band. Just show up, play it on the freaking speaker, dance around. Everybody gets into it. We're in, dude. That's quick money. I'm down. Let's do that.
Hey, we all have friends that are actually thinking like that. What can I do to make money that is total bullshit?
Yeah, well, I guess it's hard for guys that were actually making a living on the road. It must be tough. I mean, I don't know. once you start doing that, do you have a backup plan? Do you start thinking that way? Okay, now I'm officially making my living off of touring, and the other stuff makes money too, like selling merch and stuff. But obviously, I don't think people are making as much money off of record sales anymore. So
I think for me personally, without diving into finance shit, I've always lived beneath my means. Anybody that knows me knows that I don't sport some Gucci bullshit belt and no bullshit watch. You know, and at least for the members of Heaven Below, we live below our means, man. We don't want to eat fancy shit. We try to, how can we eat healthy and have it be real cheap? And when it comes to clothes, I'm like you guys. I want to wear my old shitty concert shirts still, you know. If I had big money, I think I'd still drive that same SUV that's in my driveway right there. You know, 2006, you know, I don't even want some new shit. So.
Well, it makes it easier that way, doesn't it? I mean, I think if everybody was like that, a lot more bands would actually get to go on tour. You know what I mean? Because I think that's what happens is too many bands as they start getting a little bit older, you know, and they might be really good, but maybe they didn't catch their break in their 20s or even their 30s. That doesn't mean that they can't still go out there and have success. But if they've got too much money into too much other things, you know what I'm saying?
No, my biggest problem is the same problem I had when I was in my 20s. Can I afford this piece of gear? I need a third set of monitors. Oh, I need to make sure this mic preamp is going to sound right. It's only $5,500. It's the same as it's always been.
And if you have a dependable car with no payments, it's a lot easier to get that thing fixed or get a new piece of gear rather than going, well, shit, I got a car payment, I can't afford it this month, or shit like that.
I don't think I've had a car payment since I was 22 years old, since the 90s.
Nice. So, Patrick, what's your favorite band?
I think my favorite band of all time still has to be Judas Priest. It's the same favorite band from when I was about 7 years old. I'm the youngest of 7 kids, so there was a lot of heavy metal in my house early on. I'm talking like even late 70s, early 80s. And I remember being into Kiss and Cheap Trick and AC/DC and Aerosmith. But my older sister got a copy of Hellbent for Leather. They hadn't even broken in the States yet. And I remember hearing that it went, the guitars were metallic sounding, unlike Kiss and Aerosmith and Cheap Trick. And I remember the dude's voice was so crazy badass on Hellbent for Leather. Funny enough, one of my early memories is looking at the back of the album and seeing this singer for Judas Priest. And my thought was, that's what a badass man is like. And he turns out fucking gay. But that's still my favorite band because Sabbath did invent heavy metal, but Judas Priest perfected the fuck out of it. If you go back on that or those early Priest albums, they were doing double bass and shit already, the harmony leads and shredding and all that. I think that's if we ever went to another, star system and they said, what's heavy metal? I would just hand them British Steel or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually. So go ahead, Ruff.
Go ahead.
Beat you.
No, I was gonna say, is heavy metal like your all-time favorite, or do you have other genres that you're into as well?
I bounce back and forth, man. I don't like being one of those dudes, and we all have the friend that only listens to Slayer and Lamb of God. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's so much great music out there, man. I'm a huge Bryan Adams fan. He's like my Bruce Springsteen. That dude on an acoustic guitar just sounds amazing. So heavy metal isn't the only thing for me. I love all kinds of shit, all versions of the family tree of heavy metal and rock and hard rock for sure are my number one things. But yeah, I listen to, I love 9 Inch Nails. I think that's some of the best music ever made from the late 80s and early 90s would be 9 Inch Nails. That's fuck grunge. I fucking, the 9 Inch Nails catalog. Yeah.
Well, we've touched on this before. I think industrial's getting ready to make another push. I really do. I think it's coming back.
Anybody who really knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of Trent Reznor. He's like when it comes to musicians, he's one of my biggest idols, you know. That guy really inspired me to go from just tootling around with songwriting and playing around with different instruments, because I used to play bass and I used to play keyboards, and then I started getting into singing. But he really inspired me to start writing my own stuff and performing it. And so we had to do something from Nine Inch Nails. So we did something from Pretty Hate Machine. We did Head Like a Hole, and we put it on this next album, or the one we just released. So yeah, we're pretty happy with it too. So it's funny that you mentioned Nine Inch Nails, because yeah, they're one of my favorites too.
You're gonna freak out when I tell you that I tried out for Nine Inch Nails.
Shut up.
Did you really? No way.
2006. I tried out for Nine Inch Nails. I think it was 2006. I made friends with Twiggy, bass player for Marilyn Manson, back when Union Underground toured with Marilyn Manson. I moved out to LA 2003. Twiggy hits me up. We're Nine Inch Nails. Look, he goes, I play with Nine Inch Nails now, looking for guitar players. I'm like, holy shit. You know, that's another one of those holy shit moments.
Wow.
So he goes, you just have to learn 3 songs. So I didn't pick the obvious songs. You know, I went for songs. He told me you could pick, like, just don't go too off these ones over here. I picked March of the Pigs, because it's not in 4/4 time. It has a weird time signature.
Yeah.
I think the other one I did was Becoming. Was it Becoming? And maybe Reptile. And I go to try out for motherfucking Nine Inch Nails. And I have to fill out this thing that says who I am and how I heard about it and what experience I have and all this shit.
Really? Trent made you do that?
Yeah, Trent wasn't even there for the auditions. It was everybody else.
Oh, that sucks.
And I got in there, and the guys would stop after a song and ask me questions about my gear, guitar, or whatever. And I thought I nailed it. I was like, you know, man, I think I nailed this. And they said, okay, we'll hit you back. I talked to all the other guys, and there was other people waiting, and they never called me. So I ended up finding out, I don't know if it was Twiggy or which guy, they went with this guy named Aaron North. And when I saw Nine Inch Nails with Aaron North online, I saw it. I said, that guy is killer. I was happy they went with him. He had a weird guitar with like weird effects. He knew what to do with Nine Inch Nails. He made ambience, he made atmosphere, he made a vibe. He looked really cool. And I was happy. I go, fuck yeah, they need to get that guy. Fuck my Billy Ray Cyrus, Nikki Sixx looking ass. That's the guy they need. And a year later, he was gone.
You may have nailed it, bro. I don't know.
A year later, Aaron was gone, and there was a Spin magazine article about his life and how Aaron was a little different. And I don't know. It didn't last, but that was a killer guitar player. So I wasn't even mad that I didn't get the gig. I was glad they got somebody kick-ass.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he go through a lot of session players and stuff like that?
Yeah, I wanted the gig because I wanted to learn from the master how things are done. You know, that was my motivation. But you know, it wasn't meant to be. But I was happy to try out.
That is pretty cool, though. Yeah. You got to admit, just the fact that they thought of having you try out.
That's huge. Yeah, those are the moments you savor for sure.
Well, I could definitely see it, because Union Underground had kind of that electronic sound to them as well. Not just the heavy metal sound, but you guys had kind of an electronic, like an industrial-ish type sound.
Yeah,
like you said, it was reminiscent in some ways of, actually, I thought Filter as well. You know,
I was real into all that stuff, and still am. Yeah, I was into that industrial. And I love when the industrial scene, I mean, of course, you know, like Ministry, you know, just putting guitar over those cool loops and shit is fucking badass. Shredding guitar is fun, don't get me wrong, but it's a little bit like watching people pole vaulting. You're done with it after the 5th person pole vaults. I like the weird guitar shit, like you probably liked it, Trent. And you know, Ministry and stuff like that, dude. It's fucking badass.
Right. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. It's not for everybody. It's not for all the metalheads, but I love stuff like that. Rob Zombie, you mentioned.
I got to play on a Rob Zombie album right there.
Did you? Which one is that one?
That one's he did a greatest hits album called Past, Present, Future. So I guess you guys are getting all my fucking thick stories right now.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
So Union Underground was making the ill-fated second album with super producer Scott Humphrey, who y'all know through the zombie stuff to Tommy Lee to all kinds of shit. And I made friends with Scott through the sessions. And though the Union Underground thing didn't even finish with him, before it was all done, he goes, "Hey man, would you be interested in playing on a Rob Zombie song?"
And you're like, no.
Once again, who the fuck is it? What? And I'm like, of course. He goes, "You might end up getting the gig. I mean, I can see you fitting in there really well, and you definitely have the chops." He told me all the stuff you love hearing. So I had just moved out to LA because I was going back and forth with Union Underground. And sure enough, I go to Scott Humphrey's house with his badass studio that Union Underground had been in. And fucking Zombie shows up, and I learned the song real quick. And I got to talk with Zombie, and I asked him all the questions that you guys would ask him about movie making and about, all the shit you could say. And it felt like a good vibe, and they liked my tracks, and they made it onto the album. I got paid for it and all that shit. And a few weeks later, producer tells me, "Man, it looks like he's going to hire John 5 to play guitar." And once again, I'm like, well, that guy's fucking amazing. Personally, I don't know if that's a good fit to have a guy who wears his guitar under his chin, but whatever. He's an amazing player, and he got the gig. I did not. But you know what? Who fucking cares? I got to play on the song, and it was a good part of my resume.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. You've done some really cool stuff, man. You should be proud of yourself, bro. It was awesome having you on today, brother. Is there anything you want to say to the people that are watching?
Definitely want to thank anyone who's been following the Heaven Below stuff, mine and Nikki's acoustic stuff we've been doing in this room. We're going to do more of that. And thank you for supporting this band, you guys, these people that follow y'all and like your band. They don't need to see it on MTV first. They already like it. That says a lot, because I think all of us were those same people that saw a band before MTV played it. We go, "Ooh, that's badass." I remember seeing Alice in Chains when I was underage. I was like, that's badass what they're doing right there. And sure enough, Man in the Box got on the radio and they became huge. But that's how I look at people that follow us. They know something. They're not sheep. They're leaders in their own right. So thank you to all those people.
Right on. Where can people find you on social media? You're on Facebook, right? And you're actually pretty active on Facebook.
I'm pretty active. I try to use it as a comedy platform. I like to make myself laugh. That's usually my fucking medicine. I'm on Instagram. It's the Patrick Kennison on Instagram. And then, of course, Heaven Below is both on Facebook and Instagram also. And we keep active with that shit. I laugh at those friends of ours that we all have that are like the get off my lawn old men that don't use social media. I think that's a foolish thing to not use. So I love using it to talk to people and to get people into our shit just like y'all do. So let's make sure to make fun of our friends that say get off my lawn.
We'd be like, get on my lawn, guys. Come on. It's a party.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Do you guys well, personally, when do you think touring's coming back? I mean, you hear here and there.
To be honest, I haven't heard. I don't know when the Lita thing touring's coming back. Her and I just did a virtual show that's going to be put up soon, but I don't know. I'm kind of living my life week to week, month to month.
Right.
I kind of figure out on my calendar, what can we do this week? What sessions do I have here, or what money things are happening here? And that's how I'm living it. I don't know. I can't even look that far forward because I start to drive myself crazy.
Yeah, it fucking sucks right now, dude.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Oh my gosh.
I would just keep on making music.
At least you've got stuff going on, brother.
Dude, I'll just stay in this room and fucking keep recording shit, I guess.
That's what you got to do, man. You gotta keep going forward, or you'll go out of your fucking mind. I mean,
yeah, exactly. I don't like to join on the politics shit.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the government is something that's a big lie in a lot of ways. I don't care what side, left or right. I mean, no politician is going to decide what mood I'm in that day.
Right.
I don't care. I've always been like that.
Yeah.
I'm not fooled by a politician pointing at a camera talking about your loved ones. I know that is not any politician's motivation, is to help us. I'm not an anarchist or anything, but I just see all these people going crazy with that shit. I'm like, wow, you guys are buying it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah. Yeah, on both the left and the right, really.
Yeah.
They've got their people and they're just kind of like, back them no matter what.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah.
Lynch mob mentality on both sides, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
it is.
lynch
They're
mobs fighting.
kind of going to war with each other over it. And it's like, really? Why don't you just all try to get along? That's what we should be trying to do. We should be trying to get along instead of being divided and fighting over stupid shit like that.
Exactly. And concerts were always the safe haven for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Think of all the concerts we've been to. It has never been about what color you are at a concert, what party you're supporting. It has never been that. I mean, you want to talk about the most unracist place ever? I would say a rock concert.
fuck yes, 100%.
Yep.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, that often happens when Ravenscroft plays. A lot of times we have a lot of people that are white wing, not right wing, but Republican and Democrat. We have both sides, man. They come together and they just rock, man. They just
Seriously,
rock
I did those cruises with Lita, those Monsters of Rock cruises we've done. People don't want to talk about politics on those cruises. They want to talk about which is your favorite Kiss album, which is your favorite Nine Inch Nails album. Those are the really good. That's the good shit, and that's what I miss the most, right there.
And I think a lot of the bigger celebrities who go on their tirades about politics and shit, they forget it's like, wait, people come to us to escape. We're the entertainment industry. We're not there to cram the reel down your throat. We're there to get you away from it for a little while.
Exactly. I always tell my friends, Tom Morello is the only one I can think of off the top of my head that started his stance with that, and that's what they do, and I respect it. But I really don't give a fuck what Paul Stanley thinks about what politician.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to Paul, but dude, you're Paul fucking Stanley of Kiss. You know what we're here for. I don't, it's like, if I wanted to hear about politics, I'd go to somebody to talk about politics.
Exactly. Yeah. But divide and conquer is not what the rock music and the rock concerts do. So I'll be ready for concerts.
Exactly, man. It's all about being united. I think that's what hopefully, if nothing else, COVID teaches us that lesson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hate to say that COVID did something good, but maybe in a weird way it will.
Oh my gosh. Imagine when rock concerts are back, people are going to lose their minds. They're going to cry hearing the opening chords of their favorite song.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, an entire year of sitting staring at walls. They actually get some live music in their veins. Forget about it.
Imagine a Slipknot show right now.
Oh my God.
Oh my
God. I know, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'd probably accidentally walk into the mosh pit and then be passed out in the corner somewhere.
Either that or it's going to be absolutely the other way. It's like people won't be able to handle their emotions. So it'll be about the kids watching the Beatles in the 60s where they're just standing in the corner just, oh, it's so beautiful,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good. Maybe they'll buy more merch.
So do you watch Netflix?
I do. I'm real into Vikings right now. Well, that's not on Netflix. That's on Amazon. But yeah, I watch them.
He's all, I'm really into Vikings right now. But that's not on Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix is great. You watch Mandalorian yet?
Dude, it's so funny you say that. Me and Nikki were just saying, we've got to get on that Mandalorian. We usually binge the whole thing.
You have got to get on the Mandalorian, sir. Holy shit.
Dude, you've got to see that. That is a great show.
Oh, my gosh.
Have you... But I
Netflix, back to Netflix.
I brought up Netflix because currently Cobra Kai, everybody's talking about that show. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet. All my friends and the other band members are telling me to. That's on my list also.
You're like, Karate Kid was a pussy, man. Fuck that. We need some metal guy with a cool ass beard.
Yeah, say, didn't you hear him say he liked Vikings? We don't know
Vikings.
karate
Yeah,
shit. He wants to
that's true.
pillage and plunder.
Dude, it's perfect. This is what we were talking about earlier. You guys need to go out to Europe, man, because
I'm into
you're
it.
into Vikings and so are they.
Oh yeah, I hate cold weather. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, Vikings love cold weather, so
Yeah.
not much of a Viking, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Look, this man is though. He's got his hammer behind him.
Hey,
Isn't that a Viking
don't knock.
hammer?
No, that's Thrall's hammer from World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Never mind.
exposing my nerd cred with that hammer. It doesn't help that I'm wearing a streamer T-shirt too. So yeah.
There you go. Way to go, buddy. See, I'm actually wearing a T-shirt that
Look at that. Look at that. Represent. Hey,
represents
incidentally,
the
people, you
show
can
that
you
we
can
are on right now.
you can purchase that T-shirt on the link down below. Hey now.
That's right. Or maybe you can win it for free. We'll probably talk about that at some point.
Yeah, we're coming up with things, but Patrick, thank you for coming on, man. It was really cool
Guys,
talking to you,
thank you
brother.
for having me. Always love to talk to like-minded, good people.
Awesome talking to you, bro. Good luck with everything in the future, everything that you're working on, and hopefully we can go out and see Heaven Below in concert soon.
And would share the stage with you guys.
That'd be awesome, brother.
Get you guys
Peace,
on the
bro.
fucking stage.
Thanks for coming on, brother. Keep in touch, okay?
You got it, brother. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Absolutely,
Okay.
brother. All right, people. Until next time, we will catch you later. Be good to each other. Be good to animals. Be good to trees. Just be good. Be good humans. Until next time. Peace.